Thank you so much for having us. Our group, CAD Communications, is incredibly excited to present to you. Let me introduce to you the founders, Christian Dizon, sorry, Aaron Eberhardt, and myself, Diana Moreno. CAD is a company founded by 3 college students who believe that diversity and open-mindedness are key elements for developing a continued success in your organization. At CAD, we understand that ultimately leadership is all about understanding people while motivating and inspiring others. This is why we incorporate and focus on understanding human behavior. We emphasize on self-awareness as a means to improve leadership skills. We are relevant to issues in the real business world and different organizations. We emphasize learning through experience, and we provide follow-up support as well. Next slide.
All right. Here's one question to you, CSUN VRC. What factors are holding the CSUN Veterans Resource Center from providing veterans with practical resources? Next slide, please. All right. So according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, there are about 712 military affiliated students within in your school. So the VA also conducted a study and shows that most veterans have difficulty connecting socially with traditional students. As a veteran myself, I can say that part of the reason for this is that the fact that being in the military for so long made us lose our connection with the civilian world. So we don't know what civilians know or don't know about us, and we don't know what to expect from them. Not to mention that most of us suffer from some type of disabilities, such as PTSD. The military and civilian cultures are just very different. Veterans are also having difficulty adjusting to campus life because we are used to having a more structured life. We had firmly established our specific roles in our jobs, in our social life, in our family. We knew exactly where to go whenever we needed something, or at least someone can point us to the right direction. We had schedules for everything. The military has been our way of life, and going to a less structured role as a student, it's just too unfamiliar. Our program can help the integration process of veterans as they adjust in their new role as a student. This will also be a great opportunity for the Veterans Resource Center employees to get a better understanding of the struggles that veterans face as they transition in order to provide them better services. Next slide, please. Here are some conflicts that we found within your organization. Our research indicates that the majority of veterans have issues adapting back into society, while higher education students struggle to implement the core lessons learned in school into real-life situations. Our solution, a very interactive training. It's a combination of military training and civilian education. For more information about that, I'll now pass it off to my colleague, Diana.
Yes, thank you. Next slide. This is what we found, and we created the semi-annual 3-day retreat, in which it is an immersive weekend retreat meant to teach how physical activities, open-mindedness, and mental agility inspires better communication within the workplace and academics. Our research on trainings has proved that mental and physical agility has improved productivity in the workplace by at least 20%. For most organizations, research shows that long-term return of investment is clearly higher with the group that has undergone leadership development. Over time, participants get better performance ratings. They're more likely to take on mission critical challenges, and they are more upwardly mobile through the ranks of the organization. CAD has further understood that adults typically retain just 10% of what they hear in classroom lectures versus nearly 2/3 when they learn by doing. The ability to push training participants to reflect while also giving them real work experiences to apply new approaches and hone their skills is a valuable combination in emerging markets. CAD believes with this training, your company will be, or your organization will be able to exponentially increase your productivity and bring your level of success and or profit in the future with desired outcomes. Next slide, please. Our goals with the opened mind and body training is to improve organization-wide communication, adaptability to solve complex challenges, the flexibility with cultural change or to cultural change, extensive team building, acute cultural awareness, understanding of physical fitness and its benefits for productivity. We cater each training retreat to your organizational goals and your needs. Adaptability is a soft skill that means being able to rapidly learn new skills and behaviors in response to changing circumstances. Someone demonstrating adaptability in the workforce is flexible and has the ability to respond effectively to their working conditions, even if things don't go as planned. Improving company-wide communication, or in this case, organizational communication between the military students with the civilian students. Flexibility, teamwork, all go hand in hand with the adaptability. Now, people can demonstrate adaptability at work or in this organization by being aware of changes in the environment. Those changes that my colleague Christian expressed earlier in our presentation. This will develop a growth mindset, set goals for the self, and for asking feedback to learn and acknowledge and accept that change. Workplace flexibility emphasizes the willingness and ability to adapt to change, particularly regarding how and when work gets done. In a flexible workplace, the needs of both employee and employer are met. Now, remember, in this organization, we're training these students to become employees. So therefore, the workplace flexibility is often used as a tool for retaining and engaging employees. This training will help supersede that process. Again, employee teamwork enables your workforce to split difficult tasks into simpler ones, then work together to complete them faster, to develop specialized skills so that the best person is catered to each problem solving. Again, what was most impeccable with military is team cohesiveness, something that academia is missing, in which this happens when a team remains united while working to achieve a common goal. Being a cohesive team means that not only are group goals met, but everyone feels like they have contributed to the overall success of the group. Lastly, the benefits of a workplace cultural awareness extend beyond getting along. Being aware of the common differences between cultures increases trust, improves work relationships, and streamlines projects. It also improves communication, which is the backbone to any successful team. Next slide.
So, we're talking about how this training is going to be able to change the veterans system here at CSUN. But how exactly would this retreat work? It's one thing to talk about the benefits and what it could do. But here's an example of a successful schedule for one of the trainings we did with a very successful company. So let's go on to the next. So first of all, like my other colleagues have said, the goal of this training is to allow the strengths and weaknesses to be able to meet together. You're able to access and help the weaknesses go away when it comes to what the higher education possesses and combine it with the positive impacts that you get from the military. We want there to be integration. We want the best parts of both worlds to come together in this training so that the people that are working at the Veterans Center at CSUN can actively know what the veterans need coming into the school. So that's one of the bigger things we have. Let's talk about what one of the potential schedules could be. Day one, like we said, fitness is key. We've found out, and through our substantial research, that keeping a very active and best diet is imperative to have good overall cohesion with a team. Starting with light, healthy breakfasts. We're going right off that bat. We would obviously have on-site chefs that are able to accommodate dietary restrictions. We go into many interactive things. It's a big thing on this schedule that we want to emphasize is that it's integrated with physical activity. We would start with icebreakers while taking a 2-mile walk. You talk with your coworkers and get the blood flowing. It's going to prompt brainstorming, free thinking, and make sure that you're just feeling great and get to know the workers you might not know better. You emphasize on physical training with several levels of fitness. So basically, we know that not everybody at your company is going to be at the same fitness level. We understand that, and so we would make sure that everybody is addressed accordingly. If walking's all you can do, walking is all you're going to do. After that, we're going to make sure to do a hard, healthy lunch, making sure that everybody is fed and ready for your training. We then have fitness coach consultations. We really want to make sure that we're not pushing people over the top. And when they're doing this training, and because there's so much physical activity integrated, we want to make sure that everybody feels happy and safe. That's why we have the consultations. After that, there is a very beneficial team building and goal setting session. Basically, we take everybody that you have that's attending this training, make sure that everybody's on the same page. They want to make sure that they have the right goals. They want to make sure that everybody's on the same page about what the actual company needs. And that's what we're going to go after there in this setting. After that, we're going to have a dinner roundtable discussion. Again, I'd like to emphasize that we cater to every company's overall needs. If this is something that's not going to work for the Veterans Center, then it makes sense for us not to do it. We will work with you to make sure the schedule works properly. It's one of the things we want to make sure integrate is that we change per company. The second day schedule, again, we are making sure that fitness is recognized. Light breakfast and changing it up. Yoga and Pilates, bringing down and making sure we're all prepped and ready. Because if we're not ready to do our training, we're not in a good state of mind, we're wholeheartedly not going to do as good of work as we could do if we were prepped and ready. So starting with yoga and Pilates, then we're going to have, while we're doing that, a very open diversity training session where we're going to talk about how important it is in the workplace. After that, we're going to go straight into a cultural diversity workshop. And this cultural diversity workshop is going to stress the importance of diversity in the workplace. A lot of what Christian said before, you have people such as veterans that are coming from all different walks of life. Sometimes they're not going to see the same way. But this cultural diversity work will allow you to try to get on the same page and try to understand the struggles that many of these groups are coming from so that you can come together and try to create some cohesion. After we do a hard, healthy lunch, we'll end up to, like we said, open communication. Open communication has been one of the worst things that brings people down. They don't have ability to openly communicate within their company for the CSUN. We want to make sure that veterans and management alike of the center for a CSUN is very collectively happy. After that, we're going to do a distinct formal dinner. We're going to have a very nice formal presentation to make sure that everybody gets to know each other, that they're going to have a great time. And then all in all, you guys are all on the same page. We want you guys to be in the best state of mind. In that case, we got to make sure to also have fun. It's also very important for training. After that, we typically do a movie screening to make sure that to cover lessons that have to do with a lot of topical stuff. Peanut Butter Falcon is one we've done in the past. Day 3, we move on again to the light breakfast with that activity right after breakfast, making sure we get everything churning. Make sure that we do a light hike. Again, what we stressed is that fitness levels change. We're not going to push anybody to do anything more than they're comfortable with. The big thing on the third day that we want to emphasize is this would be workplace training. A lot of what you've learned in the last day and a half is going to be a little overwhelming. But this workplace training is meant to get you into your element, really get you comfortable with your other management and your coworkers, to make sure that you're learning and being able to integrate it into the workplace environment. I think a lot of people have taken training and you don't remember anything of it, and you don't know how to integrate it, like Christian mentioned. A lot of times you just can't connect the dots. Upper division people will learn policy. They'll learn cultural diversity. But when it comes to implementing it into real life, they lack it. That's why it was so important when we're designing this training to integrate the positive parts of both military and higher education to create this training. So when we're doing these workplace trainings, we want to make sure that we're putting you in actual situations that would occur at your company. We want to make sure it's not just this generic workplace training. It's going to deal with everything that you always deal with. It's something we want to make sure that you guys are happy with. After the training, the 2 sessions of training, we're going to be going on to brainstorming sessions of attainable goals. Something when we have maybe veterans for you guys and the management coming together and brainstorming some of the goals and needs that veterans need, some of what the management needs to properly talk about the needs from veterans. They sometimes don't know. And this is the time to really get it all out in the open. Put all your aversion to being open to the side. This is the time that you want to create the best open culture possible, the brainstorming session. After that, we come to around the conclusion of the training by talking about a planning session for goals and milestones. This is where everybody in the camp gets together and they talk about where they want to be in 6 months. They want to set their goals, as this is a semi-annual training. They want to set their goals of where they want their organization to be, in case for you guys, for the Veterans Center, where you want to be in the next 6 months. You'll make sure to get on the same page with everybody and make sure there is agreement across the board. Obviously, you're never going to be completely on the same page, but this training is meant to give you the best understanding of both worlds so that discipline and the great lessons you learn from the military can be combined with a lot of what veterans say is lacking, is the cultural understanding of everyone they're dealing with. And the training overall will give you a better overall education on how to properly integrate into society with what Christian said. The key is to create a better understanding across the board and cohesion of your team to make sure that this training and your organization is helping those in need, which in this case are the veterans. That's what's most important. After, we also do a nice formal dinner with closing night ceremonies, and we do a little bit of a fun time, depending on what you guys are properly into. Yes, Christian knows what I'm saying. And we just make sure that everybody's happy. Everybody realizes what's coming from the training. That everybody feels comfortable with what they're going to do going forward. One of the big things, again, like we said, open-mindedness is a positive character quality. Above all, if we can't learn to be open-minded, veterans and managers alike, or anyone, how are we ever going to fully be able to prosper in society? We're unable to think outside of the box or outside of our comfort levels. Our training program strengthens these skills and allows you to be more actively integrated within. And if you're not integrated, it gives you the opportunity to learn and to build on previous skills and make sure to strengthen others. We wanted to say thank you so much for your time. And we also have an additional slide about logistics if you're at all interested in that. But I think I speak for myself, Christian, and Diana, saying we really think that this 3-day semi-annual retreat really help the open-mindedness, the cultural diversity, and overall the success and the ability to help and sustain the needs of everyone you're representing. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.